Cristiano Horner is not Portuguese, he's English. But like Cristiano Ronaldo, he's one of the best at what he does, being a team principal. But it wasn't always like this. Back in the day, he was a racing driver, but failed, clearly. Now he's a team principal. Let's rewind the clocks. Back to how it all started. Christian Edward Johnson Horner was born on the 16th of November, 1973. That's a song by James Blunt, right? He's a former British racing driver and currently the team principal of Red Bull Racing, and he has been since 2005. But as I said, how did we get here? Let's start from the beginning. Wait, go down in the comments and comment something, and subscribe, like the video, with that out of the way, enjoy your day. Having started his racing career in karts like pretty much everyone, Horner's career in racing cars started when he won a Formula Renault scholarship in 1991. It's a long time ago. But this wasn't just a scholarship to race in the series. It was just an engine, but at least it's something. He used the engine to good use, as in 1992 he raced in the Formula Renault UK series. He finished off the season as a race winner and the highest placed rookie. He was only a couple points behind his teammate Harry, but he was quite a ways off of future F1 driver Pedro de la Rosa. But as we all know, good rookies, they don't always make it into Formula 1. Felipe? He then moved up to British Formula 3 in 1993, finishing second in the Class B Championship for P1 Motorsport. Not the highest tier of racing, but it's better that than nothing. Winning 5 races. Might sound impressive, but there weren't any really known names in the championship, and he did finish an odd 20 points behind P1. That's all I'm going to say. In 1994, Christian Horner went to Team Fortec, and yet again was racing in Formula 3, but this time with the big dogs. But to put it simply, his season was shambolic. Pretty much every race, he was further away from the points than Hamilton to an 8th World Championship. Joke, by the way. But fun fact about that season, Zak Brown, CEO of McLaren, was also racing. In 1995, he stayed for another year in Formula 3. Surely by now he should be scoring some decent points, and maybe some podiums. But no, it was awful. And in 1996, well, you guessed it, yet again. He stayed in Formula 3, but this year, he had hopes of the championship. So how many wins and how many podiums did he actually score? Nothing. I mean, imagine Nikita Mazepin's stats, but in the mid-90s and not in Formula 1. Similar to that. He also raced in British Formula 2, but yet again, that was the end of it. Agreeably, he managed to take 5th place in the overall championship, bringing home some silverware. Finally. But let's not deny the fact that the championship was pretty dead, sometimes only 5 drivers being entered into a race. Horner moved up to Formula 3000 in '97, founding the team Arden. According to Horner, he set up the team with borrowed money, including a loan from his father, and persuading the P1 Motorsport founder, Rolly Vincini, to take up the role of his race engineer. He bought a second-hand trailer for the team off of Dr. Helmut Marko, which has somehow managed to have more Formula 1 career kills than I have in Warzone. What? Nowadays they're good buddies and pretty much partners in crime, but back then they were rivals in F3000. He stayed in F3000 for 1998 and was joined at the team Ardent by Kurt Malexen, who showed good pace throughout the season, and at one point he even led the championship. But I haven't heard of his name since. Have you? During pre-season testing at Estoril, Horner followed Pablo Montoya through the circuit's high-speed corners, but realised he wasn't capable of replicating the level of commitment. I can't do that. I just can't, he said. So, at the end of the season, he called it quits. He hung up his boots, but he still saw some potential in racing. After retiring at a young, ripe age of 25, in order to focus on the development of the Ardent team, Horner signed Victor Maslov and Mark Gusens for the 1999 FIA Formula 3000 season. Before the start of the year, Dave Richards' ProDrive organization bought 50% of the stake in Ardent on behalf of Russian oil company Luxoil, whose boss was Maslov's father. This all sounds quite similar to Mazepin and Haas. Something along those lines. But all of this didn't last too long. I mean, like Mazepin's career. He bought back all of the 50% at the end of the season. Darren Manning was signed to replace Gusens for the 2000 and 2001 season. He scored 1 pole position and 2 podium finishes. Let's go! The start of Horner's winning ways, which we all know has happened a lot in recent years. Arden also competed in the Italian F3000 series in the year 2000, winning 3 races and finishing second in the championship with Warren Hughes. Wilson Hughes is the F1 esports driver. Get mixed up. After saying their farewells to Luxoil, a new driver lineup was recruited for 2002. Thomas Engie, don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, and Bjorn Wilderheim. Yet again, don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. Anyway, they were brought in to replace Manning and Maslov. The team took 5 victories, 4 for Enge, I'm gonna pronounce it like that, hopefully that's right, and 1 for Wildenheim. Enge won the title that year. Let's go. But he was demoted to 3rd in the championship after he failed a drug test. But Arden still won the team championship, so the celebrations didn't go to waste, I guess. Verdheim stayed in 2003, but Enge was replaced by Townsend Bell. It's good they kept Verdenheim because he won the championship by 35 points to 2nd place. They also retained the team's championship, which back-to-back team championship wins? How many times has Horner that done in his career? Congrats. The final season of F3000. 2004 was dominated by Arden's lead driver, Valentino Luisi. The support of Robert Dobnos helped to secure the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship titles by a quite significant margin. The team won 8 out of the 10 rounds that season. Disgusting. With Luisi taking 7 and Dawn Boss winning 1. Luisi was brought to the team by his manager, Helmut Marko, with sponsorship from Red Bull. I'm seeing a little correlation here. Red Bull, Horner, Helmut Marko, gelling together. At this time, Horner was basing his Ardent International team at ProDrive premises in Banbury, before relocating to the former 22 Motorsport facility nearby. With all of Horner's success in the lower categories of racing, he was now looking for a move into Formula 1. After discussions with Eddie Jordan about buying the Jordan Grand Prix team, nothing came of it due to disagreements over cost. But in November 2004, Austrian drink company Red Bull purchased Jaguar F1 team, which became Red Bull Racing. In January 2005, Horner was appointed the head of the team, being the youngest team principal at the time. Despite only being appointed team principal 8 weeks before the season opener in Australia, the team got off to a pretty good start. I mean, it was a good start. With quite familiar drivers David Coulthard and Christian Klein, finishing 4th and 7th in Australia. They went on to score a total of 34 points throughout the whole season, which was huge compared to the 9 Jaguar scored the previous year. But it wasn't only points which Horner helped the team gain. He also played a key role in helping Adrian Newey come over to Red Bull, who was announced Red Bull's chief technical officer in November 2005. And him and his little notebook, he's unstoppable. 2006 was a transitional year. By the time Newey started work at Red Bull in February 2006, the RB2 had already been designed. The team had switched from Cosworth to customer Ferrari engines, which overheated and were unreliable. However, the team did take their first podium in Monaco, of all places, where Horner jumped into the swimming pool wearing nothing but a Superman cape. But this isn't the first, second, or last time that Red Bull would be in that swimming pool. Spoiler alert, they've done it a couple more times since then. 2007 brought the RB3, the team's first newly designed car, and the arrival of Mark Webber and the Renault engines. But it wasn't all butterflies and daisies, as the team continued to suffer from reliability issues. 14 retirements and 1 podium wasn't really up to Horner's standards now, was it? The team dropped to 7th in the Constructors as well. The team finished a strong 2nd in the 2009 Constructors Championship, with driver Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber finishing 2nd and 4th respectively in the drivers. They also took 6 wins between them. Now this is more up to Horner's standards, something that you'd expect from him. In 2010, the team won their first Constructors Championship with 1 race to spare, and in the final race, Sebastian Vettel clutched up and won the drivers. This made him the youngest ever world champion, and Red Bull's first championship. So, congrats. 9 days shy of his 36th birthday, Horner was the 2nd youngest team principal in history to win a Constructors' Championship, Colin Chapman being the youngest after clinching the 1963 season at the age of 34. In 2011, Red Bull one-upped themselves and won the Constructors' Championship with 3 races remaining. Sebastian Vettel also became the youngest ever double world champion. In 2012, they won their 3rd consecutive Constructors' Championship, and Vettel managed to win his 3rd Drivers' Championship, making him the 3rd youngest triple world champion. Surprise, surprise, in 2013, their dominance still remained. They won their 4th Constructors, and Vettel won his 4th Drivers. But all of that soon changed. In 2014, with the new regulations, Vettel didn't win a single race. Ricciardo won a couple, but they didn't win a championship until 2021. 2021, Red Bull finished 2nd in the Constructors, But with the help of Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, they won the drivers. Max Verstappen, Supermax, his debut championship in Formula 1. Let's go. With the new regulations in 2022, they managed to get it right, unlike 2014. Red Bull won the constructors and Verstappen won the drivers. Surprise, surprise. It was a pretty easy season with a couple minor hiccups at the start with a couple DNFs, but from then, it was easy. And then 2023, the most dominant season ever in history by Red Bull. Verstappen won 19 out of the 22 races, and Sergio Perez won the other 2, and Carlos Sainz won the last one. So they only lost 1 race. This was also the first time they secured a 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship, so that was also another success. With all of that wrapped up, this is how Christian Horner, a failed racing driver, became one of the most notable and one of the just overall best team principals in Formula 1. In the comments, make sure to tell me what you thought about the video. Smash the like button, subscribe, and peace.